Welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending week 4, Staying Active as We Age. I'm Christine Murphy, Interim Coordinator for Nevada County Falls Prevention Coalition and Older Adult Exercise Specialist. I teach Silver Sneakers from my home on YouTube on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock. I've got some great co-hosts today. Let Peter and Paul introduce themselves. Do you want to go first, Peter?
Sure. Hi, I'm Peter Stack, and I've been a member of the Nevada County Fall Prevention Coalition for about 11 years. Falls really concerned me. I represent Partners in Care, which is an in-home care caregiver company, also with hospice and comfort care. And I took care of my own mother for 11 years, and that's how I learned about seniors and falling, because it was very, very difficult with her falling, because I didn't know anything about anything. But so that's where I first learned about falls. But I've been trying to prevent them in our community for a long time.
And we thank you for that. And Paul, do you want to introduce yourself?
I am an exercise physiologist and I work in cardiac rehab at Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital. For those of you who were here last week, you might remember me saying we don't necessarily work with people that fall typically very often, but it of course happens with anybody in healthcare. A cardiac issue or a heart issue can absolutely lead to a fall, even if you have excellent balance. So it's just a matter of knowing how to prevent these things. And that's kind of our whole goal. So, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. So today we're going to have a video from one of our Fall Prevention Coalition's friends, Eschaton. We'll share that. Then Paul will instruct us on the importance of strength training weight training for strength and bone density. Then I'll speak for a moment about dehydration, and then we'll launch into our 4th exercise video, which involves strength training. But let's watch this fun video from our friends at Eschaton to get started.
And I'd just like to say that Eschaton is where we hold our meetings for fall prevention as well.
That's right. They're a very gracious host. We love Eschaton.
Ready, steady, balance.
Are you ready for the season? It's time for fall prevention.
Okay, guys, I just want to tell you, you are rock stars, and I want to be you when I grow up. I just want you to know you are amazing. You are the most encouraging people I'm around all day, and I love you.
Spread the word about fall prevention. Be safe out there.
Oh, wasn't that fun?
It's a nice thing to keep that they do this daily and within their facilities as well.
Absolutely. Coach Christie's awesome. I actually had the pleasure of working with her before. All right, and some really useful exercises that we can all do to help. Oh, sorry. Think I've got something going. Paul, do you want to start? I'm gonna close. Got another video playing. There we go. I'll turn it over to you now, Paul.
Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to talk about weight training or strength training to help prevent falls. Weight-bearing exercise for bone density and strength. So one of the only ways to actively build our bone density and prevent against any progression of osteopenia or osteoporosis is by doing weight-bearing exercise. And cardiac exercise, like we went over last week, like if you're on a stationary cycle, or if you're on a reclined cycle, or if you're on a treadmill, that kind of exercise is not actually weight-bearing. If you're hiking uphill, that would be technically weight-bearing because you have to push yourself against the resistance that gravity in the incline is providing you. But if you're just walking on a flat grade and you're just out for a walk, it's not necessarily weight bearing. It is when you compare it to bicycling, but we'll get into more specific movements in a second. So the category of exercise is very different. So the idea behind weight bearing exercise is essentially to build functional mobility. So when I used to work with physical therapists, this is the way they always talk to their patients and clients, and it's one of the ways that we communicated the importance of what we were doing is that we build functional mobility and then you build strength. So strength training means moving against a specific resistance. So if I have a dumbbell and I'm doing a bicep curl like so, then I have, a resistance I'm moving against. I'm actively contracting my biceps to move the resistance. So a better example of what we're going to go over would be like standing up from a chair or a sofa. Given that not everybody has exercise equipment, almost everybody has a chair or a sofa. So, and those two things are not created equal. Sofas usually tend to sink down lower, whereas a chair, unless it's like a lazy boo chair, usually helps you balance a little more simply because it's a harder surface to sit on. So the other functional movement that we're going to focus on is reaching above your head. So, and squatting down is also the same, but we're going to focus on standing up and then reaching above the head. So the idea behind functional mobility and strength training is to stay as strong as necessary to be able to do these repeatedly over time. So a lot of people, when they train for strength training, they try to get as strong as possible so that it's really easy to do movements and things like that. They want to be really strong. But essentially, as you age, the idea is to be as strong as is necessary in order to continue doing your activities of daily life without the risk of falling, or at least drastically decreasing the risk of falling, since you are strong enough to be able to support yourself. So, sit to stands, which is different than squats. I had no idea until I started working in a physical therapy office that it is drastically different. So let me demonstrate it to you really fast. I am sitting in a chair, and all I'm going to do is move this box out of the way. Sorry. I'm sitting in a chair, and all I'm doing is I'm shifting my shoulders slightly forward. I don't want to have my shoulders arched, right? So my back isn't arched as much as possible. Try to stay straight up. Use your arm rests and lean forward slightly. My shoulders are going to be a little close to right over my knees or the mid thigh. And I drive my heels through the floor and I stand all the way up And then as I'm on my way down, I reach down and I carefully lead with my hips. So I'm leading with my hips rather than just sitting back like so and plopping down. It's a slow, deliberate, and careful movement. So let's go through it again because it takes a few steps to get used to it. My hands are here, I'm sitting straight up tall. I lean forward with my shoulders and my chest and my heels drive into the ground. My heels drive into the ground and I sit back leading with my hips. And I do around 5 to 10 repetitions of that. Progress as you tolerate. Do not exhaust yourself and take time through the movement. It is more confusing than it seems, right? So there's nothing better. You can practice it. Getting out of a chair might be easier than getting off a couch. It's good to practice both. And then it might seem obvious until you begin struggling with it. And then all of a sudden you think to yourself, wait a second, that was kind of hard to stand. So now you really need to practice it because all of a sudden you could be on the floor and you might not even realize that you're on your way down. So it is complicated. And I want you to take time to practice that. So sit to stands are the first exercise because they're the most functional and they will build your strength nonetheless. Overhead press, which is a fancy way of saying we're reaching overhead. So sometimes I'm just sitting at home and I just think to myself, oh, my shoulders feel a little stiff, my neck feels a little stiff, and all I'm going to do is reach my arms up. So a lot of this depends on how mobile your shoulders are, or if you have shoulder injuries in the past that have limited you, or you have a shoulder issue, a joint issue that you've been experiencing recently. So it really depends on how much restriction there is or how much pain. Some people can, I mean, if you all remember John McCain could only lift his shoulders so high because all of his, the POW injuries. So moving within that restriction is better than not moving at all. So the idea is to essentially move within the restriction, but right below the threshold where you begin to feel discomfort or pain. So if I can only move my arms this high, then I'm going to practice moving my arms this high. And if it starts to hurt right about here, I'm going to just move within my limitation. And then I try a little bit more and more and more to move my arms within tolerable limits until they can get stronger in a wider range of motion. The ultimate goal is, of course, this, but in general, when we're standing and reaching for something like at the counter in the kitchen, because this is the whole idea, is I need to access things in the bathroom or in the kitchen or, in my bedroom, I need to get new linens out of the closet and clothes and things like that. The idea is to be able to reach and to be able to do this in a free range of motion without pain, but if that's not, possible, then we work within our limits. But it's critical to maintaining functional mobility and strength. If you can reach your arms over your head, that likely means that you can reach forward. The jury's out on whether or not you can reach to the side, but that's a little different. But nonetheless, pushing overhead is much harder than if you're simply reaching out to the side or reaching forward. And it's probably a given that you can reach down. So this is the idea of this exercise. So we have sit to stands, and then we have overhead reach. Those are the two exercises I really wanted to emphasize today because they're really the most critical ones that we do, aside from maybe squatting down, but that's risky. So I didn't want to go over it. So if any of you end up going back to a gym or have a gym in where you live, or you have weights at home, let's go over the difference between weight machines and free weights. So weight machines are stable. For the most part, you are not actively balancing yourself with the weight machine. The weight machine is providing you with the appropriate balance to oppose the weight that you're pushing or pulling. Free weights are not stable. So weight machines, they guide you through an exercise. All you do is you exert the force. So if the way I'm sitting in this chair right now, imagine that I'm holding on to two handles and there's a little bit of a weight stack right here on the side. And all I do is I sit back and I push forward, and that's a chest press. So all I'm doing is this, and that's the only thing that I need to do. If I were doing that with free weights, most likely I would lay back on the floor or on a weight bench or something like that. And then I have dumbbells and I'm trying to make sure that my dumbbells are stable and not going off to the side or over my head or not dropping them or hurting me. So it takes much more to balance using a free weight than it does by using a weight machine. So one thing I really want to emphasize in that regard is that I'm not sure how many of you have heard of these, but TheraBands are a phenomenal way to begin really basic weight training. You can buy them on Amazon, you can buy them at Big Five, Target. They're usually extremely affordable, and I'm sure most of you are probably somewhat familiar with them. I have it pulled up on Amazon right now. There are different brands and different colors, and these ones, you can have ones that are bands that come to a full circle, a full loop, or you can have bands that are just one end to one end. All of it is a band and it's just straight and you can tie it if you want. These are different. This is tubing. I would not recommend getting tubing unless you've already started using bands. Start with the bands first, because the bands are what's going to really help you at the very beginning of your weight bearing exercise, because it's low resistance and you can learn how to move your body in that way with a very limited risk. So the idea with these is, as the last bullet point says, don't lift heavier than you feel you should. So injuries happen when people lift heavier than they think they should. Or some people want to say, oh, I'm really strong, I can do this, and all of a sudden you've hurt yourself, and maybe you felt a twinge or a quick pinch of pain, and later on it's just reverberating all through your lower back, and then you need to go see a physical therapist and a doctor, and it's a whole cascade of effects from there. The other thing to consider about starting with a lower resistance training in terms of lower intensity or lower weight is that your blood pressure will spike if you lift heavier than you should. If your blood pressure spikes, that can put you on the ground pretty fast, especially if you have low blood pressure to start out with. And this is actually what makes hydration so important during exercise, is that it helps you moderate blood pressure. I think we went over that a little bit last week. So the idea is to build functional motion through sit to stands and overhead reaching. And now we're moving into weight bearing exercise with free weights, because a lot of people don't have access to machines right now. If you do, that's great, but in general, a lot of us don't. So TheraBands are a great way to really moderate your intensity and progress slowly. I provided Christine with some of our programs from Cardiac Rehab, the actual exercises that we do. And if you read the descriptions on the exercises that we provide people when they leave Cardiac Rehab and start exercising from home, the descriptions are written in a very specific way. I wrote some notes at the top. Take your time getting used to the motions before you ever use the band, and also make sure that you center on focusing on your breathing. When you practice strength training at all, functional mobility at all, you inhale before you exert the force. So if I'm going to stand, I'm going to inhale, exhale on my way up. This will help you moderate your blood pressure so that it doesn't climb too high. The idea, of course, is stability, and I should have made these a little bigger, and I apologize that I didn't. But these are the three factors, right? So the idea is that you take your time with each motion. There's no rush. If you move too fast, your blood pressure will go up nonetheless. So take your time through each movement, get to know the movement. Moving as fast as possible increases your risk of injuring yourself. And these things take time to improve. Strength and stability take a lot of time and concentrated effort to improve. So at around 1 month, you'll begin to see differences, which means that you'll see differences in your actual body. You'll see differences in your muscles, but you will begin to feel stronger before that. So our spinal cord has all these nerves that attach into our muscles, and those adapt before you ever actually see any changes. A lot of people get very discouraged if they don't see changes. The idea is focusing on how you feel and making sure that you are stable and strong and you feel that way rather than seeing any changes. Thank you for listening. You're both muted.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. That was really informative. We did have a question in the chat. I'm not sure if you'll have the answer. We'll see. Someone
I do
asked,
not have that answer.
oh, about the bone density test?
I do not know.
Okay, someone asked how often
that
should they
would be,
receive? Yeah,
Better question for your doctor.
yep, check with your doctor for sure. All right. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We're going to take a moment now to talk a little bit about dehydration. That came up as a question in an earlier presentation. And since hearing it mentioned, oh, we've got a question on strength from Bobby. Can someone demonstrate how to use TheraBands?
I don't think I have any.
I don't have one handy.
That isn't packed somewhere in our garage. I know I have some tubing and bands somewhere, but I do not know where they are.
Maybe you could just explain what they are. You put them on. They're out. They have different weights. You can add more weight with the band, each band, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the general gist of it. So let's go with let's go with the same example of like a chest press, right? So if I'm going to do chest press with a TheraBand, the band is about yay long, roughly this size. And what I would do is I would wrap it around, make sure it comes around my back and under my armpits. And then I'm going to grab on and I'm going to push forward. I'm going to inhale and push. So that would be one example of how to use a TheraBand. But I apologize that I was not prepared to bring any.
No worries.
I should have brought some.
So
Well,
they're like the big long stretchy things that give resistance as you exercise. They're handy.
Yes.
It's simple. Yeah, I'm familiar with those.
Very good. Well, maybe we can work on those in our Tuesday, Thursday classes too. We'll take that as a to-do, as something to introduce there. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to share a little bit of information about dehydration before we get to our workout video. So dehydration occurs when our bodies lose more fluid than they take in. It can cause lightheadedness, dizziness, which can lead to falls. And in the last few weeks, I've heard a lot of stories about falls and emergency room visits linked to dehydration since this topic came up. I bet many of you probably know someone that this has happened to, where they were dehydrated and they fell. One study of health records of people in the Midwest, so over 30,000 people that were seeing a medical professional for some reason, and they had data on whether they were dehydrated or not. They're all over the age of 65. They found that 38% of those people were dehydrated for whatever, no matter why they were going to the doctor. And they found a significantly higher risk of falling and death among the dehydrated group compared to the group that was not dehydrated. So it's really important to stay hydrated for so many reasons. But our risk for dehydration increases with age. The older we get, the risk keeps going up. Why? There are several factors. There are physiological changes in our body that lead us more prone to dehydration. Our kidneys become less efficient in concentrating urine, so we lose more water as a result. Medical conditions associated with age, like diabetes and other conditions, can increase the risk of dehydration. Medications that people tend to take as they age, such as diuretics and laxatives, can also contribute to dehydration. So how do you know if you're dehydrated? Well, the symptoms include sluggishness, confusion, dizziness, and dark urine. Mild dehydration can affect our mood and energy in a negative way. And as it increases, additional side effects can occur, such as bad breath, dry skin, and muscle cramps. And if it's really severe, dehydration can lead to potentially fatal complications like blood clots and seizures. Another reason why we tend to get dehydrated more the older we get is that we experienced a reduced sensation of thirst as we get older. So our body is not as adept at giving us the signals, hey, I'm thirsty, I need to drink. This really takes an even greater effect on people with Alzheimer's disease or people who have suffered a stroke in the past. So we're just not as sensitive to that need for hydration. Another factor, if people experience incontinence, they might be tempted to limit their fluid intake intentionally to kind of avoid problems, or maybe even it's just an aversion to what are perceived as extra bathroom trips. So in my experience as a teacher, in some of the classes I've taught, I've literally served water partway through class to ensure that people were drinking. And this was particularly like in my 80 and up groups that I would literally serve water. And so many times I'd hear, don't give me a lot. I don't want to have to go to the bathroom. So please don't let that be a barrier to hydrating, because it can really cause some significant problems. It's also an opportunity to get a little extra physical activity, maybe a sit to stand. So be sure to stay hydrated. So how much liquid do we need to stay hydrated? One rule of thumb is to take the weight of your body in pounds, divide it in half, and then drink that number of ounces of water a day. So for a 150-pound person, divide that in two, that would be 75 ounces of water per day. So, your particular need for hydration may vary based on, any medications you take, but that's kind of a rule of thumb, a good gauge to shoot for. And about 20% of water in our average diet can come from food. So it doesn't, you can get some hydration from your food, but the remaining 80% comes from drinks. So the recommendation is to drink 6 to 8 cups of fluid throughout the day. As Paul said, water is best, but other things, as long as they're not dehydrating, like coffee and tea, like milk could be okay, right? It's a hydrating beverage. So whether or not you feel thirsty, just please be sure to take some hydrating beverages throughout the day. Wet foods like fruit and broth-based soups are also a good source of water. So please stay hydrated, stay healthy, and stay safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Christine. That was great.
Welcome.
Good reminders.
All right. Oh, okay. So yeah, what about the color of your urine? Okay, so if your urine is darker, that could indicate that you're dehydrated. It's not being diluted enough. So you want to look for a light color in your urine. All right, well, we'll now share our 4th and final exercise video. I love your focus on staying safe, Paul. As an instructor, that's my first and foremost goal, is to keep people safe. So in the video you're about to see, there's a chair warm up. Then I'm going to transition to standing and do some moves with weights. But as Paul said, it's a good idea to just practice the moves without any additional weight until you're confident that you can perform them safely. You could also just watch and see. But anyway, we'll hang out. You can work out if you want. And we'll see you back here in 34 minutes. That's how long. It's a little bit of a longer video. So I hope you can stick around. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Christine Murphy, and I specialize in exercise for older adults.
In 2014, I founded SeniorWell.org, hoping to provide inspiration and information to enhance your well-being. Since then, I've taught over 700 classes and workshops to older adults, and I'm so happy that you've chosen to join us for this session. Whether you've been active your entire life or you're just beginning today, it's never too late to get healthier. Small changes can add up to large health improvements in mood, memory, strength, and balance. Thank you for taking time to improve your health. You're worth it. This is one in a series of videos produced by the Nevada County Falls Prevention Coalition, designed to help you stay strong, active, and independent. Since 2006, the Falls Prevention Coalition, a program of Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital Foundation, has provided stimulating educational events and opportunities to Nevada County residents in pursuit of its mission to reduce the risk of falls through education and vision of creating a community that empowers seniors and people with disabilities to reduce their risk of falling, thereby enhancing their quality of life and maintaining their independence. Prior to beginning an exercise program, please keep yourself safe. If you've been advised by a doctor not to exercise, please consult with them before doing anything. It's also a good idea to check with a doctor before exercising if you feel unsteady on your feet, have dizzy spells, or a chronic or unstable health condition such as heart disease, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, or diabetes. Please keep in mind, all of my instructions are only suggestions. Don't do any move that a doctor told you not to do or that you know your body wouldn't like. Be sure to wear safe, non-skid footwear and take breaks to sip water frequently and stay hydrated. Dehydration contributes to dizziness, weakness, and can increase fall risk. Many of the exercise will be performed from a seated position, and most standing exercises can be performed from a seated position if needed. Please keep a chair, counter, or assistive device nearby to support your balance as needed. We're ready to begin our workout. We'll begin by thoroughly warming up in the chair and then moving to a standing position to work all of our major muscle groups using weights, water bottles, or soup cans. You can also just use your body weight if you'd like. It's important to exercise our muscles, all major muscle groups, twice a week to avoid age-related muscle loss or sarcopenia. Just remember, do the best you can. You don't have to be perfect. Have some fun. Let's go. All right, let's begin by getting comfortable in our seats. You may notice I have a block underneath my feet to help me feel a little more comfortable when I'm seated. I'm gonna make sure my ankles are underneath my knees. My shoulders are over my hips. My ears are over my shoulders. Neck is long, chin is level. And check to make sure that weight is equal on the right and left sitting bones. Proper posture puts us in the correct position for deep belly breathing, the healthiest thing you can do for your body all day long. Simply breathe in and out without changing anything. Breathing. If you ever find yourself to be stressed or under tension, you might notice yourself holding your breath. If you want, you can place your hand on your belly. Feel it rise as you inhale and fall as you exhale. Filling our air with fresh, clean oxygen and exhaling out any toxins or impurities. Feel your belly rise. It inflates like a balloon as you fill your lungs with air. And exhale. Squeeze out any stale or old air from the bottom of your lungs. Next, we'll do some bellows breaths to clear our lungs some more. So if you're a lady, please have your right hand underneath. If you're a gentleman, the left. And we'll begin to purge our lungs. purge our heart and lungs now. With our hands at heart center, we'll begin to do some fountain breathing. Inhale in, keeping that nice good posture, and then exhale and blow it out. Great job. One more time. How about a nice slow inhale in, and then an even slower exhale out. That'll stimulate our vagus nerve, eliciting a relaxation response in our body. One more time. Good job. Let's begin to add some gentle movement now. On your next exhale, let your chin gently tip towards your chest. Inhale and rise. Now we have a motto around here. It's no pain, no pain. So if anything hurts, please discontinue that movement immediately. Inhale and exhale. How about a look right and left? Things we do every day, nod our head yes and no, look to the side, checking out our surroundings. Semicircle, let that chin gently roll back and forth across your chest, nice and slow. If you feel yourself getting dizzy, just slow it down a little bit. How about a full circle? All right, letting everything open up naturally and gradually. Other direction. An ear to one shoulder. Relax. Let any stress or tension just melt away. Inhale, rise, other side. And back to center. Let's begin to take our movement out to our shoulders now. Lifting one and then the other. And then both at once. I don't know, do you know? And now full circles, first one direction, then the other. Oh yeah, loosening up those muscles, great job. Can you grab a stirring stick for me, please? And stir up some nice thick liquid. Don't forget to breathe. Other direction, oh it's thick. You gotta engage those stomach muscles to get it going. Are you stirring up something good to eat? Now give yourself an inhale in. Exhale down. One more time. Let's warm up those hands. Place them at heart center, then begin to roll them. Half of the joints in our bodies are in our hands and feet. So let's give them some love. Other direction. Now out to the side, gently circle your wrists. First one direction, then the other. Give them a lower lift. And then make a fist. Squeeze up those hands. Drop anything you don't need. Just drop it on the ground. All right, you're doing great. How about some water? You getting thirsty yet? Okay, taking our warm up a little deeper now. Let's warm up our chest. Hands at heart center. Inhale and open up. Exhale, close, shut. Inhale, open, nice and wide. Exhale, close it down. A couple more just like that. time. Now we'll inhale, lift, and rise, circle around. Keep that nice deep breath flowing. Couple more. All right, last one. Now place your hands on your thighs and begin to circle around, warming up our spines. And then other direction. Any size, shape, or speed works just fine. It's your body, your workout. Now we're going to do some seated cat and cow yoga. So inhale, lift, that's the cow. Imagine a cow with a sagging belly. And then exhale, make your back round like a scary black cat on Halloween. Inhale up, exhale down. One more time. All right, good job. Inhale, lengthen. Now pick a side and twist. Take a look behind your shoulder. Come back to center, inhale, lengthen. Take a peek the other way. All right, is your upper body feeling kind of warm? Let's work on the lower body. Please pick a foot and lift it and start to point, flex, circle, squeeze, any way you wish. Wake up those feet. Place that foot on the ground, other foot up. Circle, point, flex, squeeze, whatever it takes. Great job, sit up now. Start to squeeze your calves, lift those heels. Hello, calves. Squeeze some muscle, some blood in there. Let's wake up our hips now. Gently step out as if you're stepping out of a car. Out and in, if you want, you can use your belly to help propel it. I like to squeeze my belly button towards my spine to engage my core. That will help to protect your lower back throughout the workout. Couple more. Are you having fun? I hope so. I am. Great job. Next, we're going to do some seated sun salutation yoga poses. So when you're ready, inhale, gently hug your knee just as close as comfortable. Exhale forward. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, extend and look up like a cobra in the grass. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Extend and look up. This is a full body workout right here in the chair. See? You can do this anywhere. It takes no special equipment, no special clothing. Just the willingness to move. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, forward. Inhale. Look up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Extend and look up. How about one more time each side? Last time up. Roll up nice and slow. Give yourself some shoulder rolls. Scan your body. Do you need any shake, shimmy, wiggle? A little bit of water. Great job. Let's wake up our feet some more. Tap it right and left with one foot. Other side. Tapping right and left. We're waking up those feet. And now, gently cross one leg over and just reach forward. Here's a nice low back stretch. Inhale and exhale. Rise up. up, gently uncross. You can also cross your ankle over your ankle if your leg doesn't want to go up on top of your other leg. Just do what you can. Inhaling and exhaling. Great job. Prop up your leg. Reach forward, stretching our hamstrings, the back of our legs. Release, other leg up. Just waking up those muscles. Up a little, right, left. Give yourself a few deep breaths. We're gonna work a little bit harder on the next song. Doing something we all do every day. Most of you, I'm sure, probably do. Standing up out of a chair. Very important to mobility, But let's take a break for some water first. It's now time to begin the strength training portion of our workout. So grab your water bottles, your soup cans, or some weights. You can also just use your body weight if you choose. Let's begin. The first set of exercises is for our arms, our biceps, and our legs. So we'll start by stepping side to side. When you're ready, you can add some arm movements. Halfway up, halfway, touch your thighs. Halfway, up, halfway, touch your thighs. You're getting stronger with every repetition. How about smooth, all the way up and down? Don't forget to breathe. Are your arms getting tired yet? Let's give them a break. Work your legs. Step to one side and the center, side and center. This is a good time to reach for your spine with your belly button. That'll protect your low back. If you want a little more, add some arms. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step side to side. This time we're going to begin with our arms in the middle and alternate one up and down. A little brain work with that muscle work. Don't forget to breathe. In the center, work some pistons. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Leg strength. Step forward 45 degrees. Step to the side. Touch your toe back. Good job, other side. Forward 45 degrees. To the side. And the rear. Let's try it again. Here we go. Forward. Side, touch your toe. You've got it. Forward, side, touch your toe. How about one more time? Each side, you can do it. Side, touch your toe. Last time, forward, side, touch your toe. Step side to side. You did it. Great job. All right, you can take a sip of water if you like. The next set of exercises for our upper body, our triceps, the muscle on the back upper portion of our arm, our back, our chest, and our shoulders. So I'm gonna stand up I'm gonna keep my head, neck in a line. I'm gonna hinge forward, lift my elbows, and extend to the rear. If you get any pain in your neck or your back, just readjust. It shouldn't hurt. Keep that deep breath going. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Now reach forward and pull back down. Squeeze in, elbows tight to your body. This works our trapezius muscles on our back. They look like triangles. Back. And back. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Take your hands out wide, working our chest. Squeeze in and out. In and out. Smile if you want to. But breathing is not optional. Smiling is optional, breathing is not. You're doing great. 4 more, please. 3, 2, and 1. Let's work those shoulders. Lift out and in. If your elbows are bent, that'll make it a little easier. If it feels too easy, straighten out your arms. And in. 3, 2, and 1. Now if you choose 8 overhead, whatever you do, don't hold your breath and don't squeeze the weights. That could elevate your blood pressure. That's why we only do 8. You're halfway done. Last 3, 2, and 1. Give yourself a break for a stretch and a shimmy. Now we're gonna put it all together with a pattern. Here we go. Start at the bottom, up, flip it over, close it twice, go down, close at the bottom, up, flip it over, close it twice, down, close at the bottom, up, flip it over, close it twice, up, flip it over, close it twice, down. Last one, flip it over, close it twice, down, close at the bottom. Great job. Now, bring one arm in, one arm out. Work those shoulders. Did I mention you get extra credit if you squeeze your cheeks, front or back, or both? Wonderful job. Next, we'll work our core with weights, so I'm definitely going to use my chair for this. I'm going to keep it handy. Level 1, you'll just lift your leg. Level 2, lift your arm and your leg. If you want a little more, you can weight your arm. Here we go. 10 extensions out and in. 3, if you squeeze your cheek on the leg you're lifting, it helps, I promise. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. Now reach up and down, up and down. You got it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go to the other side. Take a moment, stabilize yourself. Deep breath, here we go, extensions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just 2 more, you got it. side. Reach up and down. Up and down. This is 5. You're halfway. 8, 9, and 10. Great job. Now grab onto your other weight, soup bottle or water can, however you roll. Squeeze your rib cage towards your hip. I mentioned we didn't have to be perfect, right? That includes me. How about some pulses? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Other side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Singles. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your weights close, look behind, and center. And forward. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Stand up, reach down, squeeze up. You did great. All right. Let's take a seat and cool it down now with some stretching. All right, it's time to do some stretching and cool down those muscles. So we will begin by pivoting around on our chair with one cheek on the chair and one cheek off the chair. This is going to stretch out our hip flexor. And breathe. If you like, you can take the lower arm, cross it over your leg, and give yourself a slight twist. Take some nice deep breaths and relax those muscles. It takes at least 20 seconds for the muscle to relax. Muscles are the armor of our bones, and they're there to protect us in the event of a fall. So we have to send the signal to stretch for quite a few seconds before the muscle will relax and actually stretch out. And pivot around. And gently press on your inner thighs. Take a look over one shoulder. And the other. Can I get a little volume on that, please? Other cheek on, other cheek off. Take some nice deep breaths. Time to relax. Took your lower arm last time and crossed it over your leg. You can do so on this side. Take several deep breaths. Wonderful work. Pivot around, prop up one leg, and gently reach forward until you feel a slight bit of tension in the back of your thigh, your hamstring. Take several deep breaths here. Typically we hold the poses, the stretches for 3 to 5 breaths, but of course you're free to exit a pose at any time that you wish. Rise up, gently cross either ankle over ankle or maybe ankle over knee and reach forward. That will stretch out your gluteus maximus. One more breath. Rise up, gently uncross, prop up your other leg, reach forward, and take several deep breaths. Stretching out the hamstring of our other leg. One more breath. ankle over ankle or ankle over knee, whatever works for you, and reach forward till you feel a gentle stretch in your gluteus maximus. That rear end. One more breath. Gently rise up, uncross, beginning to stretch our upper body. You can reach behind, hold on to your chair, or if your arms are able to link up, you could hold on and gently open up your chest, lift that chin. Take a few deep breaths. One more breath. And release. Now reach forward and dive between those arms, reaching forward. First with one arm on top, then the other. And now I'd like you to please reach around and pat yourself on the back for doing a great job in class. Give yourself a hug for being an exceptional human. And take it to eagle arms stretch if you like. Open it up. Other arm on top. Pat, pat, exceptional humans. Eagle arms if you like. All the while deep breathing. Take one arm across, stretch out those shoulders. Reach one arm up behind, the other below, and open up those chests. Gently release, send your other shoulder across for a stretch. Reach behind, open up those chests. Next stretch for our biceps, thumbs up and down. Push your walls away, elongate if you like. Other side. And a next stretch, first one side, with or without additional tension from your arm, you choose what's right for you. Other side. Beautiful. Thank you for joining me. Take a deep breath and have a great day.
That was great, Christine. Thank you.
Well, thank you all so much for your time and your attention. Do we have any other questions?
I didn't see any.
All right.
I feel better though.
Oh yeah, you worked out a little?
Oh yeah, I do it every time.
Yay. Well, you're welcome, Stephen. Thank you all for attending. Thanks so much for your time. The videos are available on the Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital Foundation YouTube page and on my Senior Well YouTube page. So if you ever want to revisit these videos for some more workouts, we also work out live on Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. So thank you all so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for all of your kind words. And everybody take care and stay safe.
Have a
Thanks,
good day.
Paul.
Thanks
Peter.
again, Paul. Thanks.
Okay, take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
You're welcome, Ursula. Thank you for your kind words. Bye, everybody.